Hello everyone, I am Lux. You may know me as aka Lux from Twitter. Now if you do not come from Twitter, you may follow me with the link I will leave in the description below. So in this video, I'm gonna be showing you one of my 5 concepts that I use in my daily trades. I have a few concepts that have fairly good amount of win rate and I'm planning to upload them also. So if these contents are helping you out in your trades and you want more of these, please make sure to like and subscribe and comment below maybe. Anyways, now this one concept that I'm gonna show you on this video is squeeze cream strategy. Now it is a term that I created that I use when the price is on a draw on liquidity during the day. Now I say I only created the term squeeze but not the concept itself, as there might be other traders that have used this strategy before me with a different name for the concept, but I prefer to call it squeeze as it fits in perfectly. So if I have to explain it, basically when the price is going for a swing point like higher low or equal highs and lows or fair value gaps, rejection blocks, or previous days or weeks highs and lows, etc., it doesn't draw on these levels along with a single trend line. Price also needs fuel along the way until those key levels are taken. Now this is the closest state that the squeeze strategy takes place 2 times, one on the London hour, the other is on the New York. What we see here, all the Asian lows are taken during the London hour. After all these lows are taken, the price moves upwards. Now this fair value gap right here could be my entry for the long, but I prefer to wait for another confirmation within the range of the first Quasimodo. So what I want happens right here, another rate and break on the structure, and I'm ready for my long. My entry will be right here on the fair value gap, right after the break of the structure. I aim for the 2 risk rewards as I usually do, and watch what happens right after I get long position. Now I get stopped by this sell candle here, and right after that I realize the bearish structure is taking place from the start of the London hour. Price makes a rate right here and tests the rate area again by taking this high right here within the range, and what I see here that the price tests this little breaker. Now this gives me a great insight whether or not price wants lower, so I begin to look for a short. Now what I see here, that this is actually not a break on the structure but a simple rate, the last rate before the move. Now I call this one squeeze Quasimodo because it squeezes the longs right here and here, and I participate in the move right on this fair value gap at the top, right after this Quasimodo. I place my short orders like this. I place my stop loss right on the level of the last rate. It gives me an invalidation, and I aim right here at on the M5 fair value gap of the previous daily low. Now the reason why I do not aim for the lowest low is that when the price is close to previous daily low, for example, it gets a great buying pressure from the rejection block or the fair value gaps next to it. So not to risk my positions, I usually take profit from those levels. Okay, so let's watch my short position right here. Now as you see, it goes to my profit level by squeezing the longs right here and right here. Another squeeze strategy example take place within the New York hour on the same day. So what we see here, price takes the high here and breaks the structure downwards, and then price visits the same area, the order blocks right here, and makes another break on the structure. And now this area might look good for a short opportunity, right? Short right here on the fair value gap, or at the fill level of that same gap, anywhere on this area. But watch what the price does right after visiting this area. Now what we see here, price took the previous day low, created a fake short structure, made another rate right after the short structure is formed, right on the level that the shorters might want to enter their trades. And what we see is that this little squeeze Quasimodo is going to push the price up right after this break on the structure. Now we can market order right here, wait for the price to go even deeper. I choose to market because there might be a buying pressure right after taking big liquidity, which is previous day low, and I can place my stop loss right on the level of the low of the last Quasimodo. And now I can aim for this high as my take profit level. Now let's watch what will happen. Now what happened here is that the price took the liquidity of the shorters around this area and then took the liquidity of the shorters in that area. So as I said, when the price is going for a stop loss, it also takes the liquidity of the other traders along the way as a fuel. Now this is another date where the squeeze happened 2 times, just like the earlier one. One during the London hour, the other is during the New York hour. Now what we see here, just as the London hour starts, the price dumps into Asian lows, breaks at this high, makes a break of the structure and goes for the liquidity here, the high that started the move downwards, and creates a relatively good looking short opportunity. Now I've seen a lot of people shorting here, but I chose not to participate as I suspected there might be a squeeze until this equals. I wanted to wait for this low to be taken, and I also shared this analysis on my Discord. As you can see, I explain here also that I want this level to be taken, and with the Quasimodo I will aim higher. Let's watch what will happen to shorters. Now this level is being taken, and the only thing I want are good looking Quasimodo. Now this is enough for me to take a long position. I actually love market entries because there has been so many times that price didn't even test the order blocks or fair value gaps during the squeeze. I'm not saying it's the best entry style, but it works well for me. So my entry level is here and my take profit level is here, but even if I expect the price to go for the equals, I put my take profit level even lower than that, because as I said in the earlier clip, that it might take a selling pressure when getting close to that big levels. And plus 2.78 risk reward is amazing for a trade. Now let's see what happens. Now this is the same date during lunch hour. We see that price went for the fair value gaps on these lows that broke the structure upwards after taking the Asia low. Now we might expect a move upwards right after visiting this area, right? Now let's see what will happen. But before that, we should also mark a potential short. A raid is happening here, structure is being broken downside, a little raid is happening within the breaker, and now we can watch what will happen to the price after testing this area. Price made a raid within fair value gaps, broke the structure upwards, tested this area and went upwards again. But let's see if it will break this level also. Now here what I see is a potential squeeze. Price made a raid right here but could not get this low, so this long is looking suspicious for me. After another raid within the range of the breaker and Quasimodo right after this big raid, right? Now devil is in the details. Price left a tiny fair value gap, created a minor structure break. Now this is a perfect example of how market makers maximize their profits during the squeezes. I entered my short right here after I saw this structure and I aim for the suspicious lows. Now see what will happen. Boom. A straight dump. Now I do not call this a coincidence. I legitimately entered my short along with the market makers. A perfect 4.56 risk reward trade. Let's also remember that I marked these equal highs, but we see that prices did not even try to reach there, because market makers sometimes leaves some key levels to trap longers. They trapped longs right after taking this high and not reaching there, and they trapped them again right here, and I assume that the longers here also aim for these equals, but market makers squeezed them in the end. I hope it helped you understand what the squeeze is. Here's another example of squeeze Quasimodo strategy during London hour. What we see here is that the price took most of the Asian highs right here and broke the structure, and now we might expect a move even downwards after visiting this breaker or this order block, maybe by maybe simply making a little Quasimodo right here and go until this lows, right? Now let's see what will happen within this area. Now what we see here is that price visited this area of order blocks, which took the liquidity lying here, created a little raid and moved upwards. Now this little fair value gap test right here will give us insight that the price wants upper, but we do not enter on that fair value gap, rather we wait for another raid. Now within the breaker zone, let's watch what the price will do. Now what we see here, a raid has been made, the raid of the candle that visited this little fair value gap. Now by this raid, the traders that entered on their longs inside this fair value gap are liquidated. Now we can look for a long right after this rate here, this volume gap will be our entry, or we can simply market entry right after this break of the structure. And we will aim for the liquidity of the shorters around this area. I also shared this trade in my Discord, so if you want to join, you can message me on Twitter that I will be leaving on the description below. So let's see what will happen to my long. Another example here. This is out of kill zones, right before London kill zone. So here is the Asian high. Price takes that high and makes bearish move right here after taking this inducement. Now this might look like a good short, but let's watch what will happen. Price takes this low, makes a little break on the structure after taking it, and reacts to the order block here immediately. We might get into the position after break of this high and aim for 2 risk rewards again, just like that. Another example here, dated July 14, has been made a rate and price reacted to this M15 fair value gap for London kill zone. Price reacted to this one also, moving until this M15 fair value gap during the earlier New York kill zone. Now we are looking for a reversal that might take these highs and go until this Asian high. Price took the M15 fair value gap, also reacted to the gap, and also made rate and boss basically a Quasimodo, and it's moving upwards. Now what we'll look for here is if the price will accomplish breaking this level, which is breaker, by squeezing the shorters on this breaker. I know that there will be a lot of shorters here, as there has been made a raid and a strong boss. So that's why this area is important, and I have to watch the price within here. Now instead of moving downwards, price made a Quasimodo within bearish breaker, so that will be my long. Right after this squeeze Quasimodo that will squeeze the breaker shorters, I choose this level as my profit level because, as I said, there has been many shorters within this fair value gap and putting their stop loss at the top of this wick. So that's the reason I aim here. Again, I also posted this on my Discord. Here you see the screenshot of it.